I made over 100 millionaire traders, so I don't even know the number. I don't want to answer this question, bro. You can't put that information on the internet.
Your biggest win in trading?
Always I'm losing, sometimes I'm winning.
And what time frame do you use to scalp?
1 minute.
Damn! How, bro? Are you a bot?
A few $1,000 to a few $1 million
In less than a week?
less than a week.
Wow. And your biggest loss?
Because sometimes what people do who trades using AI bots, when the drawdown reaches, like let's say they set the equity stop loss to 12%. When the drawdown reaches to 9-10%, what they do is they move the stop loss further down, hoping that the market will come back and reverse. And that's absolutely false. You know, I guess people talk a lot about greed and hope, but I think one of the...
We're here outside the IFX Expo. As you can see, it's pretty crowded. It's hot outside here in Dubai, but I'm very looking forward to go inside, collect my badge, network with traders, meet the brokers. There's so many companies over here. I've heard there's about 400 brokers, and that just shows you the demands for this industry at the moment. Everyone wants to trade, everyone wants to invest, but you gotta know who you deal with. You gotta know where you collect your information. I'm looking forward to go inside now, collect my badge, do my panel discussion, network with traders, ask about the biggest wins, the biggest losses and whatnot, and make sure we provide some valuable information for you guys. So please, before we get started, make sure you like, you subscribe, and let's go. Your biggest win in trading?
$3,000.
$3,000. Trading what?
Trading gold.
Gold. Everybody loves trading gold these days, right?
Yes, it's best thing to trade right now, commodities, and don't sleep on silver or copper.
Absolutely right. And how long it took you to make $3,000? Was it one trade? Was it one day?
It was about an hour. I like scalping.
Okay.
So I usually like I trade futures, so I like using regular contracts, standard contracts. And I like being in and out of my trades in less than 2 minutes. But this one, I let run a little bit, and it was about an hour trade.
So you like scalping, right?
Yes, I love scalping.
And okay.
Because the reason why I love scalping is because I'm an impatient person. I used to swing trade like supply and demand when I was strategy hopping, and come to find out, trading is a self journey. So
absolutely, yeah.
My personality and my style, I'm not a patient person. I like being in and out. And when I say scalping, I'm not taking like 5 or 10 trades a day. I'm taking 1 or 2 trades a day with my setup, but I'm in and out quick.
That's it, and you're done for the day.
Yeah, and I trade only during the most volatile times like NYSE Open or London Open.
Yeah. Do you trade news as well, or no?
I trade news, but I don't trade when the news is going on, no. So
Fair
I
enough.
wait, for me personally, I just wait till, if news is at 7 p.m. today, I just wait until after the news candle hits and then I trade.
Absolutely, because it feels more like gambling, right?
Yeah, it does for me.
And what time frame do you use to scalp?
Recently, it's been the 5 minute, but when I scalp, I use the hourly, 30-minute and 15-minute as confluence, and then I go down to the 5 minute to refine my entry.
Fair enough. And your biggest loss?
It's been bigger than the $3,000 I lost.
Fair enough.
You know, the biggest struggle I have, I admit, is I can make profits, but I can also lose in a single trade.
What have you been doing to tackle that challenge?
I think the biggest challenge I face is, the days where you have green days, accepting my losses like winning days,
Absolutely.
When I make my wins, for example, I take 1 to 2 trades, I can stop. But if I lose and I have a red day, especially after going on a winning streak of green days, I have a battle of trying to make that red day a green day. And so the biggest thing I try to do is literally, as simple as it sounds, as cliche as it sounds, take 1 to 2 trades per day. And if you can sit on your hands, I'm not perfect at it, but if you can sit on your hands and take 1 to 2 trades per day, I usually see success.
You know what? What you've said is absolutely golden. Knowing when not to trade will make you more money than the days you trade.
Exactly.
For instance, last year, I haven't been trading every day. But come at the end of the year, I'm profitable, I'm consistent because I didn't trade every day. So quality over quality.
Exactly. And if you're a swing trader, focus on taking 1 or 2 trades a week, maybe.
Fair enough.
That's it.
And what advice would you give to anyone who's looking to start in this market?
Look at guys like Ahmed Trading.
Appreciate him.
Find a mentor. Don't be afraid to invest into a mentor because YouTube University is great. I watch YouTube videos all the time. And once when you have the structure, then YouTube's amazing. But if you're new to this industry and you want to make money, follow someone that's been doing it for years, invest into them, and they'll give you the exact A to Z formula to learn the basics, and then it's up to you to experiment and figure out yourself.
Absolutely golden, man. Love that. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, Ahmed. It's a pleasure.
Your biggest win in trading?
$30,000.
$30,000. Trading what?
Gold. Only trade gold. been trading gold, will never, ever switch up. That's my
Everybody loves trading gold these days, right? And gold has been on this tremendous run since 2023. Like, how you've been navigating risk with Trump back in the office?
So honestly, a lot of the times people don't realize like gold follows real market structure. So if you know how to read the markets and analyze the market structure, you'll know exactly what gold is going to do. I knew that gold was going to sell at 5,600 at that point. I knew gold was going to retest every single time. A lot of the times, it's simple fundamentals. Correction, continuation. If gold makes a sharp movement up, you know it has to come back down and retest at some point. So those are the type of movements that you want to get in and get out. Get in and get out. I'm a scalper. I'm not a swing trader. So I get my, 100, 200 pips, and I'm out of there.
And what time frame do you use to scalp?
1 minute.
1 minute?
1 minute.
Damn.
I'm a nut.
How, bro? Are you a bot? Is he real?
I'm addicted to it, bro. The rush of just staring at the charts. Like even right now, I'm looking at setups even while I'm in the event right now.
Fair enough. Do you trade news?
I love news. Yeah.
Really?
All the time. I'll check. So every week on Sundays, I'll go through Forex Factory, make sure I look at my USD news, and I just make sure every single time I have my stop loss in place.
This guy's crazy. Today we've got the NFP. Are we gonna trade that as well?
Definitely, for
Bro,
sure.
he likes gambling.
Yeah. But you got to make sure that you have good risk management.
Yeah.
Always have good risk management, and don't trade what you can't lose.
Fair enough. Good advice. And what was your biggest loss in trading?
Oh my goodness, I've probably lost in one day.
One day, your biggest today.
Okay, one day I've probably lost maybe around 25K.
25K.
Yeah.
And what was the biggest lesson you learned from losing 25K?
My problem is not holding it for one trade, right? So that was a accumulation of losses within the day. Every trade I don't like drawdown. So the most I'll ever lose on one given trade is $1,000. So that means I got in like 20 times throughout that day. And it's just revenge trading.
Over trading and
It's
revenge
over
trading.
trading. I'm just like, man, I'm gonna catch it now. But I hate drawdown. So my stop loss is very tight. 50 pips max. I don't go anything more than 50 pips. I see people with 100 plus pips. It's like, no, bro. Like you're not of a good trader if you gotta be in drawdown 100 pips. So I'm very in and out.
And what's your TP target? How many pips?
Minimum at least 70 to 100.
Fair enough. And what advice would you give to anyone who's looking to start in this market?
Man, my best advice right now for anyone that's looking to start is really focus on the mindset of trading. You need to understand good risk management. It doesn't matter if you're good or not at trading. The only way you're really good is if you can manage your risk. That's the biggest thing when it comes to trading. A lot of people think that, you can just come in and go for the biggest wins and,
Get rich fast.
It's not that. Trading is not that. It's the ones who can live to trade another day. That's my best advice. You may lose today, but you may make it back tomorrow. And even if you lose tomorrow, you still have more chances to make that money back as long as you have good risk management. If you go and you blow your account, you don't have a chance to even make your money back. So risk management is the biggest thing. Focus on the mindset, focus on market structure, focus on one pair. Stop trying to trade this pair, that pair, this pair, that pair. Focus on one pair and go down that road and just focus on that and you'll be successful.
Absolutely golden, man. I want to add to that. I agree with everything you've just said. Focusing on one pair. Plus, I guess this market is all about survival. Like I've been trading for 10 years and what made me consistently profitable trader is just surviving and never giving up. Because you never know when your time is.
Exactly. Everyone has their time. There's going to be ups and downs. Everybody has their wins, their losses. There's nobody that's perfect. You just have to, on your losses, manage your losses to the point where you can still come out to where you can still make it to the next day. That's the biggest thing.
Well done, man. Well said. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate you.
Thank you, brother, man.
Well done. Your biggest win in trading?
My biggest win, I want to talk about my success. I want to talk about, I made over 100 millionaire traders.
You've made over 100 millionaires traders.
Traders that has millionaires that they produce.
Fair enough.
So I don't even know the number.
And what would you say, the number for yourself?
It's disclosed.
Fair enough. For tax reasons.
Yes.
And how long have you been in the financial market for?
Since 09.
Since 09.
Yes.
And what's the craziest thing you've ever witnessed since 09?
The craziest thing I ever witnessed was a community trading, all around the world, showing Forex and showing trading on jets, on yachts, right, with jewelry on, right, changing what a trader it looked like. Because Back in the day, trading was boring.
Right.
Who wanted to look at charts all day? That's boring. So what I did was I added lifestyle and flavor to the trading space. So as I could say, what I witnessed in 2013 when The Wolf on Wall Street came out, it gave me an idea like, wait, let me take this concept of this movie and become the Wolf on All Streets
In real life.
in real life. Build a community of over 400,000 people,
400,000 people.
400,000.
Impressive.
So when I was 26, I helped an academy reach $1 billion in sales. It was all good and gravy. I put a lot of celebrities into the space. A lot of, millennials in this Generation Z. I pioneered generations into the space. So just to answer your question, man, the biggest thing I did was walked away when I had the freedom to focus on my purpose.
And obviously you've been in the financial market since '09. What's the biggest lesson you've learned?
Discipline.
Discipline.
Don't chase the money, chase your purpose. And once you chase your purpose,
The money follows in.
the money's gonna follow. It's all about abundance. You focus on yourself, right? You focus on your mind, you unlock your mind, you unlock your body, it's gonna unlock your spirit, and abundance is gonna flow. That's like a trade. Don't chase the trade, trace your wisdom. The more wisdom you have about something, the more wisdom you have about a country, the more wisdom you have about what's going on in the world, the more wisdom you have about trading, because trading is nothing but the world's currency. Right now, we're trading. We're trading wisdom, right? I'm on your podcast,
Right.
and I'm giving your podcast more awareness and audience. Maybe a concept they never necessarily heard trading breaking down before. Everything is about trading. Without a trade, there's no movement. And when there's no movement, right, there's no money. And when there's no money, there's no system. And when there's no system, the world it won't be civilized. There'll be a bunch of lions trying to eat each other. Why? Because of food supply. Because without no money, everyone can just have food. You see what happened with Corona? So that was just a test of onboarding the mind into the next generation, right? Because without food,
Then game over.
yeah. So that's why money was the trade to create the system. So the food supply so people can have to buy and sell.
So money is just a tool.
Just a tool.
And if I gave you $100,000 and I told you you're only allowed to trade one currency pair or one commodity, which one would you choose?
Money moves only. That's one nation, United States. But then you have Money Moves Only, which is the #1 money network in the world with resources. You have a government, right? But what do they know about trading? What do they know about Web3? What do they know about decentralized and decentralized? See, what they know about crypto. Crypto is about people. So I've been building my network for 18 years with people, which is the trade, right? Why be a part of this where you're being what? You're not having access, where you can be a part of a nation, right? A world nation where everyone in the world can trade resources, trade wisdom. So I've been shadow banned from Instagram, from YouTube, from TikTok.
Because you're speaking facts.
Because I'm speaking facts. So that's what I did. I took my wisdom and I built the first trading social media platform. I built the first creator platform. I'm going to say and look at the camera. And you're going to remember, if you might know me, you might not know me, but I took the Rothschild system and I reinvented it.
Man, you're a fascinating character, one of a kind, I've got to say. Let me end this interview with this question. What's the biggest lie people believe about trading or money?
I don't want to say that, but I'm just going to say this. The biggest lie I can say is, I don't want to answer this question, bro.
I know, bro.
I can't put that information on the internet.
But you give it to me privately, yeah?
Yeah, I can talk to you privately, but
Appreciate that, brother. Thank you
Appreciate
very
you,
much.
man.
Thank you for your time.
your views gonna go up, man.
Your biggest win in trading?
It's hard. Like 14,000 USD trade. That's
Okay.
probably my biggest trade. I've had big weeks, big months. It's more about consistency for me, but probably 14,000 in one day.
$14,000 in one day. What were you trading?
I was trading gold, and that was recently. If anyone trades gold, they know it's moved crazy lately.
Exactly.
And yeah, I caught
Especially last week, the volatility had been incredible, right?
it wild.
Right.
So I made a lot of money there.
Fair enough. And how long have you been in the financial market for?
About 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
And what's like the craziest thing you've ever witnessed in the last 5 years since you started?
Last week, the volatility with gold is historical. We've
Right.
never seen anything like it.
It was moving up and down $200 like a yo-yo, right?
Yeah, like nothing ever before.
Right. All thanks to Mr. Trump.
Maybe, who knows? Yeah, crazy, man.
And what has been your biggest loss?
Probably 11,000 in one day. Yeah.
And what have you learned from losing $11,000 in one day?
That you're your own worst enemy sometimes. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's from taking one loss, trying to take another trade, taking two losses, 3, 4, 5, and then it gets out of control.
Exactly. Then it becomes revenge trading, and then it's just pure gambling, right?
Yeah, you just become someone different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And do you usually follow technical analysis or fundamental analysis? Which one do you lean to more?
Technical, I don't really care about fundamentals.
Fair enough. Are you a swing trader or scalping?
Scalper. So I'm basically in a trade for about 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
And which time frame do you use to get your confirmation to scalp?
15 mainly, 15 minutes.
15 minutes to get a confirmation, 15 minutes to scalp.
Yeah, I use a higher time frames to build a bias, but 15-minute time frame is where I execute.
All right. And what advice would you like to give to anyone who's looking to start in this market?
Just don't have unrealistic expectations. Give yourself time. If you want to make a high income, it's going to take a bit more time than you probably think, but that's okay.
Exactly. And don't believe whatever you see in social media and online, yeah?
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
Right. If I gave you $100,000 and I told you got to trade one currency pair or one commodity for the rest of the year, what would you choose?
Definitely gold.
Apart from gold?
NASDAQ.
NASDAQ,
Yeah.
yeah? And what caught your interest in trading gold? Like, what do you like about gold the most? Is it volatility, liquidity?
Gold, you're going to get volume with Asia, London, and New York. All day there's going to be volume. So that's a great thing for me to trade. Yeah.
And gold has been this incredible run since 2023.
Insane. So there's always volume, and volume is what you need if you're a price action trader like me.
Yeah. So you use price action,
Simple price action, no indicators, nothing.
no indicators.
Not a single-
And what do you say about people who got like 100 indicators on their trading view?
They're probably not profitable. Like, you don't need it.
Right.
Like a candlestick gives you all the information you need.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And how long it took you to become a profitable trader?
2.5 years.
2.5
yeah,
years.
I sucked for 2.5 years. Just lost money all the time, every day for 2.5 years.
But you stayed consistent and you stayed the course, and look at you now.
Bro, I'll tell you one thing. When I found trading, I was like, if I don't make this work, I'm done for. I have to make this work. So even after 2 years of losing, I still couldn't give up. I had no plan B.
Right.
So
And that pushed you over the line to become what you are today.
yeah, just kept showing up.
Fair
Kept
enough.
showing up.
Keep showing up, never give up, stay consistent.
Pretty much.
Love that, man. Thank you very much.
Pleasure,
Thank
bro.
you. Appreciate it, buddy. How long you been in the financial market?
More than 15 years.
More than 15 years. Wow, that's a long time.
That's right. I graduated back in 2007. Straight away, I started the brokerage business in Sydney.
And what has been the craziest thing you've ever witnessed in 15 years in the financial market?
Well, I think I've seen a lot of new started companies, especially FX and CFD industries.
Right.
Especially in the last 5 years, I think I've seen more than 500 new companies.
Right. Yeah, I've noticed something. Like last year, there were about 100 companies.
Yes.
This year, there's over more than 400 companies.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
what does that tell us? For young traders, anyone who's looking to start in this market?
It's getting more competitive. Also, I think newcomers bring new ideas and new products, which push us to the edge. We have to change. We have to improve to catch up with the trend.
And what's been like the biggest challenge for you in the last 15 years since you started?
First one, the company culture. So previously, we're dealing with Australian clients mainly. Now, because the young generation, especially from APAC, from MENA, from Latin, from Europe, we have to find a new way to deal with those new clients.
Right. Gen Z clients.
That's right, Gen Z
Right.
clients. So they are not from the traditional way that we used to deal with the back in early 2000. So we have to find a new way, and we have to adapt with other newcomers.
Right. And a lot of people,
Yep.
like who are looking to start in this market, they have to be careful who they work with.
Exactly. Well, given that everyone knows that there are more than 400 brokers in the FX and in CFD industries, I think there are important stuff that we need to tell the investors or the clients, traders, that reputation, regulations, and also the culture for those companies.
Right. Because a lot of brokers, they might be working against the traders.
Unfortunately, what I haven't seen, yes, yeah.
And what's like the biggest challenge for you guys are looking at now, given the crazy volatility in the market with Mr. Trump back in the office? How you guys have been handling that?
That's right. So to be very honest, we've been trying to conservatively to make sure that the company can be sustainable. We can make sure that clients are happy with our trading environment. So we don't do anything aggressive or stupid. So we have reduced our risk appetite as well, especially during the last 2 or 3 months, to make sure that our trading team and our company can sustainable during those volatilities.
Fair enough. And during the last 15 years, what has been like the craziest win a client of yours or yourself personally has ever like made or seen?
Oh, definitely the last 2 months, I'd guess.
How much was that? Like in a per one client, one account?
Quite a few clients from a few $1,000s to a few $1 million in
From-
less than a week.
A few $1,000s to a few millions dollars in less than a week.
Less than a week.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's
Not
incredible.
only one.
Wow. And that's insane. And what advice would you like to give to anyone who's looking to start in this market?
Oh, I think profitability is not something that you should be looking for. A more sustainable, a long-term growth, that's the target you should be aiming at.
Yeah. Long-term growth. You always gotta have that long-term vision.
That's right. You can make it 200% or 300% for 1 month, but it will be very hard to keep 30% for 5 years.
And stay consistent. Consistency is key in any industry.
Exactly. Yep.
Thank you so much, my man. Appreciate
problem.
it. Thank you. Your biggest win in trading?
$12,000
$12,000. Trading what?
gold.
Gold. Was it a scalping trade or a
So
swing
it was
trade?
a swing trade. Actually, I forgot to cut it. And next day I saw I was supposed to close at 5,000, but next day it was running $12,000.
Wow.
Yeah, I bought it 41 something and $100 moves, 1,000 pips.
Was that the best mistake you ever made in trading?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And how long you been in the financial market?
I'm in the market from last 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the craziest thing you've witnessed in the last 4 years you've been in the financial market?
Yeah, the last really in the gold.
Gold,
Yeah, from $3,300 to $5,600. It's gold is pumping crazy,
Yeah,
man.
especially since 2023. It's been on this incredible run, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. So this is the first leg of the primary trend. I can see from my experience, and we will see more pump in the gold.
Right.
Yeah.
Like JP Morgan predicts gold prices will go up all the way to 8,000 by 2028.
Yeah, it is possible.
It's possible now. With Trump, everything is possible.
Yeah, 100%. See, no one was expecting from 3,300 to 5,600 in short period of time, but it is what it is. It is gold, it is commodity, and the market cap is $31 trillion right now. Silver is doing amazing, and this is I can say from my experience, the first leg of the primary trend, and we will see this primary trend is going far away, and this is what about
Yeah,
gold.
what a time to be alive, right?
Yeah.
And do you usually like to trade gold, right?
I only trade gold.
You only trade gold, right?
Trade gold, yeah.
And what caught your attention to trade gold? What caught your interest in gold?
See,
Volatility, liquidity?
100% volatility and the volume. First, I started with the Euro USD, but now I came to the gold because of volume and the volatility of the gold. Yeah.
What's your style of trading? Are you more into technical analysis or fundamental analysis?
More into technical analysis, but I get the data as well. I follow the fundamentals as well, and my style of trading is swing basically.
Fair enough. And what was your biggest loss in trading?
Biggest loss I lost on BTC back in 2025, $14,000 in a month.
In a month.
In a month.
And what's the biggest lesson you learned from losing $14,000?
Always manage your risk, and if you can manage your risk, you can do very good in trading.
Risk management is crucial.
Yeah.
Apart from risk management, what advice would you like to give to anyone who's looking to start in this financial market?
1 to 2 trades in a day, and there should be risk management, should be on the first. 1 to 2 trades enough in a day, not more than that.
Risk management, quality trades always.
Exactly.
And knowing when to stop.
Yeah, exactly. And when you have your profits, just stay away from the market, go out, have some good dinner.
Don't be greedy.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you so much, my man. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Nice to speak to you.
Your biggest win in trading?
30,000
$30,000
on gold.
on gold.
Yes.
And were there multiple trades? Were you buying? Were you selling? What was the time frame you're trading?
Actually, I scale from daily time frame, 4-hour time frame, and I take my entry from 15 minutes time frame.
Fair enough. And what was your biggest loss?
I think 17,000 plus.
$17,000 plus.
Yes.
And what was the biggest lesson you learned from losing $17,000?
Impatient and FOMO precisely, because also trying to revenge trade.
Right.
I had this loss because I didn't use stop loss. That was few back years ago, and I didn't use stop loss, and I was trying to hold position, hoping it's going to go back to my direction. I kept running in big drawdown, and instead of me to cut my loss short, I keep adding more money to the account, and before I know it, it's all gone.
So I guess it's not just about being patient, but also hope. a lot of people talk about greed and being afraid and whatnot, but sometimes hope could be the enemy of traders. Like, hoping the price would go back, hoping the market would reverse back, right?
Of course, I would say hope is not something you can use to justify trading because there's a lot of factors that moves the market. And you have to understand this and have that knowledge and understand those factors that move the market because market does not respect anybody.
Right.
It doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your emotion. And it doesn't even care about prayer. You just have to understand those statistics that move the market and not hoping that when price goes against you, you're not going to use risk management and just hoping that price will come back to your entry. And wanting price sometimes give you that chance, like move close to your entry and you feel like, let me still hold this position, eventually it will go in my direction, but then it goes against you once again.
Absolutely, absolutely. Which one excites you the most? Trump tweets or Jerome Powell? Good afternoon.
Powell will scare me.
The good afternoon, yeah?
The good afternoon. I mean, it's been a controversial trend that people feel like, not actually the way it happens, but, we believe the influence of his speech really affect the markets,
Absolutely. We're going to miss him soon because his term is over. Yeah. Anyways, to end this, what one advice would you give to anyone who's looking to start in this market?
Okay, if you are looking forward to start your trading journey, I would say don't try to look for capital first, seek for knowledge because knowledge is the only thing that will guide you and put you in the right spots. Look for a good mentor, someone who can teach you, who can guide you in the proper way because that will be a shortcut for your success.
Love that, man. Well said. Thank you so much, buddy. Yeah, all the best. Your biggest win in trading?
Man, some days I made like 15K. Some days I've lost 15K. Some days I've blown accounts. 15K is not a lot to some people, but to some people it's a lot.
Of course.
To me, that's what I put in. That's what I can afford to lose. You win some, you lose some. Obviously, one of my biggest mistakes was I put in more money than I was capable of managing. I thought to myself, if I don't have enough money to manage, if I don't have enough money in the account, it's not going to make a notable profit. So I thought if I only start an account with $1,000, profit's not going to be anything. So why not just start with more? So I started an account with like 15K, and obviously it was my first account, so it didn't go so well. I lost more than half of the money before I pulled out, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go back to the books. I'm gonna see from my mistakes what I could learn. So you could put in a lot of money, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna make a lot of money back. You should actually, from what I learned, you should put in money gradually into the market. You should scale it. That way you respect it more, and that way you don't make such big losses. One of the most important things about trading that I learned is you gotta learn to protect your money more than you gotta learn to make it.
Right.
You can make it gradually, but you gotta protect your wins. You gotta protect your assets because you can make a couple of wins, but one loss can wipe out everything you've made and more. So you gotta definitely be very careful. You gotta be defensive. You gotta take calculated risks, but you gotta be smart with it.
Absolutely. I appreciate your honesty, buddy. And what I really like about your journey is that you didn't give up. You went back, you tried to analyze your mistakes, and you came back stronger. So are you a scalper? Are you a swing trader? What do you usually trade on as well?
So obviously the most interesting thing is to see something happening on the moment. However, that is always not the best strategy. So you could learn to be a good scalper, you could learn to be a good day trader, but it wasn't until I met one of my mentors that they told me, hey man, you need to diversify. You need to have some long session trades to balance out the short-term ones,
Right.
especially with gold, which is what I was mainly trading in the Forex market. My mentor had a lot of long-term trades open, even though I know him for his short-term trades. He told me this helps minimize your risk because you overall know which way the market's going. So with gold, I was mainly doing some day trades. Some of them win, some of them lose, and I was kind of just, back and forth on the same profit line where I was at. Right. And until I learned this, then I started diversifying my trades a little bit more, and it really helped me make more. So you can make money scalping, you can make money day trading, but those trades are a little bit harder to forecast and to predict than in the bigger picture. Obviously, you can't predict anything 100% either. The big picture can also change, but a bigger time frame is easier to forecast than a shorter time frame.
Absolutely, yeah.
Everybody wants to trade short time frame because it's interesting, it's in front of you. You see the numbers moving very quickly. You got a lot more leverage on the line, but at the same time, you have a much bigger risk to get liquidated.
Absolutely. So if I gave you a $100,000 account, funded account, and I told you you're only allowed to trade one currency pair or one commodity, what would you choose?
So I like gold the most, XAU USD.
Right, gold has been on this tremendous run since 2023, right? Especially with Trump back in the office, and especially last week. Have you seen the charts? It's been mental.
Yeah, so gold went over 5,000 USD. When I started trading gold, it was like around 1,000, 1,200.
Wow. Yeah.
So it went up like 4 or 5x. But if you compare that to some crypto meme coins, some of them do like 100x. But the thing is, after they do 100x, it might go back down to zero. And the party might have been one day, and if you missed it, you're like, whoa, I was a millionaire yesterday, and today I have nothing. Meanwhile, gold is more of a store of value. So with gold, it definitely is a much bigger market cap. It's like 35 trillion. I know that gold is a solid investment to have physically, but the Forex markets, all these financial institutions, they allow you to trade it, to leverage it without actually holding it physically, without having an overhead, which is really good. I mean, whatever market you're in, if you sell cars, you got to maintain the cars. You got to have a garage to keep them in. You got to insure them. If you sell food, even harder. The food has an expiration date.
Right.
Whereas if you're in the financial markets, you have exposure to this, and at the same time, you don't have to worry about storing it. You don't have to worry about the overhead. So that's the beauty of these financial markets. But then again, you got to study everything. You got to be on top of things, because you can make money, you can also lose money just as easily.
Absolutely, and you've got to manage your risk. Risk management is absolutely crucial in this game, right?
Risk management is very important. I had a conversation earlier, somebody was interviewing me, and we were talking about what's the 3 most important things in order. And number 1 was your psychology. Number 2 is a technical analysis, and 3 is the risk management. So first, you have to go in with the right mindset. Then you have to analyze all the indicators. You have to analyze how the market's going. And then you have to analyze the risk, how you want to invest, where you want to get in, where you want to get out. And you have to be true to the data, not act emotional, like, oh, it's almost there. Let me just move the stop loss a little bit. And by the time
And relying on hope.
Yeah, don't act on hope, act on logic. Sometimes your logic can be wrong, but go back to the drawing board, learn from your mistakes. Don't revenge trade unless if it's like a really, really, really solid certain position where you think, okay, this is going to be a turnaround, but not like gambling,
Right.
So there's a lot you can learn. You can learn so much about yourself from trading.
True.
So you learn about your psychology, and if you think that, man, this was an impulse trade, you know what? I have a problem making impulse decisions. So in a way, like, you can better yourself as a person, because
In real life.
in real life,
I agree.
a certain way that you trade might be related to a certain mentality that you have that could sometimes not be the best for decisions you make in life, the same as decisions that you make in trading. So trading exposes a lot about your personality and about the type of person that you are.
It's true.
Whether you take big risks, whether you're careful, whether you're cautious, whether you learn from your mistakes. So trading has made me a better person. Besides making me money, it definitely made my mindset better.
Made you more disciplined. And trading can reveal a lot about someone's character, right? How long you been in the financial market?
Over 8 years.
8 years. And what's the craziest thing you've witnessed in the last 8 years?
Trading during news.
Trading during the news. It's like gambling, right?
It's like gambling, exactly.
Trading during the news or trading during over the Trump tweets? Which one is more crazier?
Oh, the craziest one was the Trump tweets.
Trump tweets.
Yeah, it moves the market like crazy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And how has Trump been treating you since he's been back in the office?
Well, I think Trump has actually impacted me positively and also negatively, but I can say the positive is more better, because I think for the past 6 months, gold price, for example, I'm a gold trader. I traded gold, and like in the past 6 months, gold used to move like 250 pips in a day. But these days it's moving like 1,000 to 1,500
Right.
pips.
Did you see last week? It was moving like $100 in 5 minutes, up and down, up and down. Absolutely mental.
Yeah, it was crazy. But these times we usually like to stay away and wait for a good confirmation before taking trades.
Right.
Yeah, so in order to keep your account safe and healthy.
And this week, gold looks like it's consolidation.
Yeah.
Last week, a lot of people made a lot of money. A lot of people lost a lot of money.
Exactly.
So now everybody's just taking a step back because there's no liquidity in the market. It feels like it, right?
Yeah, and there's no exact confirmation or let's say good analysis, you can say, because you don't really know the exact direction you're taking the trade from.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And what's the biggest lesson you learned over the last 8 years that you've been in the financial market?
To always wait for your confirmation, your zones. Yeah, stay on your zone and wait for the market to reach your zone before you take a trade.
Which one excites you more as a trader? Good afternoon, Jerome Powell? Oh, Trump tweets.
It's quite confusing these days.
Right.
Yeah, but Jerome Powell, I think Trump tweets, it's more dangerous than the Jerome Powell.
You reckon?
Yeah, yeah.
It feels like every day we've got NFP data with Trump back in the office, right?
Exactly. It looks like NFP every day.
And what advice would you give to anyone who's looking to start in this market?
If you want to start, you have to first of all get to know, have good knowledge about the trading. Don't just jump into the market. Get a good knowledge, understand the fundamentals, and understand how the market moves before you can go into the trading.
Fair enough. Education is key.
Education is a key. Yeah.
Much love, man. Thank you so much for your
Okay,
time.
well, it's
Appreciate
nice to see
it.
you.
Thank you. Your biggest win in trading?
Always I'm losing. Sometimes I'm winning.
It's always losing. That's very honest from you. But what was like the biggest remarkable winning trade that always sticks with you?
One time I was early morning. I checked the trade. I think okay, just enter. I made like $20,000
$20,000. Trading what?
gold.
Gold. Was it one trade or was it multiple trades? And what was the time frame?
Almost 340 to 4, I think, 4 o'clock.
Okay. And was it a scalping trade or was it swing trade?
Swing
Swing trade. All right, fair enough. And your biggest loss?
many times.
Many times. There's so many losses. And what's the most important lesson you've learned from the financial market?
Always take risks.
Always take risk. But you've got to manage your risk as well, right?
Yes.
And if you've got any advice you want to give to anyone who's looking to start in this market, what would it be?
Always trust yourself. Believe you're who you are.
Believe in yourself, have confidence, and believe that you can do it and never give up.
Yes. Always try. Never stop.
Right. I agree. Because, you got to stay consistent and always got to keep trying. Because that's what gets you over the line, right?
Yes.
Love
correct.
that, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
So we've come to the end of this episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys found some of these interviews are valuable to you. I hope you found some good knowledge for you lot. And please, if you like this episode, make sure you like and subscribe. And I will see you real soon for more to come. Peace.